Many Australian children are being exposed to scenes from the war in Ukraine on social media. It's not necessarily being sought out. It's popping up in news feeds and throughout entertainment content, and some of it isn't even real. Joining me now is digital wellbeing expert Dr. Joanne Orlando. Dr. Orlando, thank you. What are children seeing on social media and what platforms is this happening on?
Yeah, well, they're seeing anything and everything to do with the war in the Ukraine. So a lot of it is quite violent footage. So they may be seeing army tanks run over people, different kinds of deaths, bombings. The other day I saw a bombing inside a house that was taken on someone's phone, and then babies crying and children, lots and lots of tragedy. And then we're also seeing a lot of propaganda, and everyone and anyone seems to be posting around the Ukraine war. So not just necessarily soldiers or the media, but anyone, it seems. And so far, around today, the hashtag Ukraine has had around 40 billion views on the platform TikTok. But then we're also seeing this kind of footage on Instagram and all the other social media platforms.
So the kids are not necessarily looking for it, but they're getting it served up to them anyway. Is the exposure itself a problem?
Yeah, it is actually. There's two different issues here. One is the type of content they're seeing. It's quite extreme, quite confronting. It's not normally content that you expect to see when you go on TikTok, when you go riding home on the way, on the bus going home. But also the sheer quantity of it. There's so much video content about it. So whenever a child goes on a platform like TikTok, it's likely that these kinds of footage of war will be threaded through all the other kind of content that's on TikTok, like, lip sync videos, goofy pranks that people are playing on each other. So it becomes part of their entertainment, and that is a massive issue.
And how can parents help in this situation, or in some cases the kids help themselves? I mean, can they restrict access to this, or do parents need to sit down and have a talk with the kids?
Yeah, there is a restricted mode on a platform like TikTok, and parents can actively turn that on, but they need to have access to their child's account. So if they have a 14-year-old, it may not be kind of the easiest nor the best solution. The thing is that children don't necessarily understand what they're seeing. Now, it depends on the age, but there are a lot of children who are 10 years and younger who are on platforms like TikTok who are still seeing this kind of content. And because it's on a social media platform, there's no news reader or anyone explaining what's happening. So the child is just seeing this confronting video. Their parent may or may not know, and then they'll see another video and another video. So it's really important for parents, one, to go onto these platforms that their child uses and just to become familiar with the kind of content that's up there around the Ukraine-Russia war. And nothing replaces a parent talking to their child about this kind of content. Just like you might talk to a child about online bullying or sexual content that they may see online. This is brand new content that children are seeing. We worry about children playing violent video games. Well, this is real violence that they're seeing. So children don't have this kind of life experience. They need parents to help them understand the kind of footage that they're seeing, fill in the details and the gaps. And then when children do see more of this kind of footage, and that's pretty inevitable, they'll go to it with a much more informed understanding of what's happening. And that helps to minimise any of the negative effect that this kind of footage can have on your child.
It does seem to be another example where children are being exposed, parents are having to step in and sort this out, and the social media companies take no responsibility for this. What responsibility do they have? What power do they have to change this?
Well, we know social media companies have massive amount of power, and they can wield it in any way they want. They do have policies that restrict certain kind of content, like bullying content or things around sexual, nudity, that kind of content. And they do have restrictions around violence to a certain extent. But this is brand new footage for these kinds of platforms. So instead of just including new hard and fast rules, these are the restrictions in place. they need to be a little bit more flexible, I think, and to think, well, these kinds of situations might come up now. You know, warfare on TikTok we see is a very real today issue. So how do they change the protocols and processes around how they deal with that kind of content? And plus, they need to also extend their rules around it as well. So social media platforms do have a massive responsibility in our world, and making changes that are addressing these kind of changing social needs are so important for children, for adults, for all of us.
Digital wellbeing expert Dr. Joanne Orlando, thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.